I'm going to talk to you paired. And so I came up with some individual questions for our little chat this morning. I directed 3 short films. Is this is there a plan of directing a feature in your future?
100%. You know, being able to like work with, you know, like this canon of directors, Robert Rodriguez, Tim Miller, Barry Jenkins, all the way to Roland Emmerich, and, you know, now Zack Snyder, as well as all the incredible independent directors, Anna Lily Amnipur, Mads Matthiessen from Denmark. It's like really, I'm sitting there studying, you know, I'm watching everything they do, every decision they make, the way they interact with the crew. And then, you know, I'm analyzing on set, and then when I see the finished product, I'm analyzing that to kind of cross-reference the two and just take what I can. You know, that was the reason that I had the urge to begin writing and directing. So I think it's inevitable, like Thanos. I think I think it is inevitable, but it's gonna be the right piece. I sense it will be something London orientated, my community orientated. And, you know, I've got a crew list of people that I've worked with that I really respect. And so I'm really excited to transition into that. However, I really feel like, especially now and after Noble, and I think you'll see it in the extended cut, I feel like this is like the deepest I've gone as an actor. And I feel like it's kind of day zero, you know? So like, I do feel like I've still got 2 decades worth of, you know, minimum 2 decades worth of like acting to grow. Like, I'm really interested to see where I am in a decade and 20 years as an actor, you know? So it's not like in 2-3 years, I want to transition into directing. I want to do the 2 of them, as well as like producing and being a part of cool shit and stuff I find interesting, and kind of vouching for the underdogs and pulling cool stories and using the position that I've built up through my acting career to kind of get stuff greenlit and do weird, geeky, underground shit.
You have played a number of villains in your career, and I'm curious, what do you think it is about your face that directors say villain?
Yeah, I've got a resting villain face, innit?
I'm joking around, by the way, but
I'm not.
But you're good at a villain. Like
I know. I think like definitely my bone structure lends itself to a villain, you know, or to even when I play heroes, it's kind of like anti-heroes or like heroes that are tainted or whatever. So yeah, I feel like there's that side of it, the aesthetic side, but the other side is like, I really enjoy it. Like, I really enjoy it. And I think people can see that on camera, that I'm having a great old time, you know? And I also understand, like, I'm not an actor that goes in there like thinking about me and everything evolves around me. I understand that like a character is like nature, like it can't exist in a vacuum, like it exists compared to everything else. So I understand my position in the story and what the screenwriter and what the director wants from me and how I serve the story. And so I think that's one of the reasons that I've been successful at being antagonists. Yeah, but I also just kind of like exploring the dark side. Like, you know, in real life, like I'm just a big teddy bear. You know?
That's not true. Your family has told me that is absolutely not true.
No, I'm a big softie, like proper, and like, you know, even though I train martial arts and stuff, like I don't want no violence, I don't want no problems, but I love going into the dark side. It's like some Jungian shadow work stuff where it's like explore the dark side, and in a way, that was like what was great about this, and what was the worst thing about this is like, we shot for 153 days. Yep. You know, Deadpool was 55 days, bro. This is like insane length of time to be deep underwater with this darkness. You know, and with Atticus Noble, I was like, I'm gonna remove all humanity. I'm gonna remove all sense that you could relate to him, you know? I want this guy to be terrifying. I want to see how far I can push the envelope with like savageness and coldness and harshness and just like complete lack of empathy and conscience, you know? And it was like, that came across on screen, I think, but it was pretty horrible to kind of be deep in that world for so long. I
have to ask you, what is it like when you're part of a project that is shooting for 153 days, where you could go a week where you're not filming? I mean, I don't know how the schedule worked, but I would imagine there's breaks. So how do you sort of stay focused in the role you're doing, but also, do you see what I mean? Like enjoy life, but also the marathon of making a movie like this or 2 movies like this.
Yeah, I don't like days off. I'm a proper weirdo like that. Like, I don't even want the weekends. I just want to work. Like, especially if I'm away from home, away from my family, I just want to knuckle down. I want to work all the time. So time off traditionally hasn't been good. And it's why I don't really do TV. I don't want like a month off, 5 weeks, and then come back in. On this, I didn't have so much time off. And when I got time off, I was grateful for it because I was exhausted. And, you know, we say time off, but it's like I'd still wake up, you know, 8 a.m. instead of 3 a.m. or whatever. 8 a.m., I'm in the gym by 9 o'clock, 9:30. I'm there doing, you know, an hour and a half of resistance work. I'll come out of there and go do a 3-hour stunt training, you know, or if I haven't got stunt training, I'll go see my friend Greg Wotton and go train Muay Thai in his garage dojo in Los Feliz, you know, and I'll be out there hitting pads. So then I'm doing, you know, Zoom sessions with my acting coach, my mentor, Martin Ledwith, back in London. So it's like, I fill up every second of the day because again, it's like when I'm away, I'm like, I'm here to work. And sometimes my friends were like, you know, Greg would be like, man, like maybe you should like come and enjoy LA and do stuff. And I'm just like, nah, I'm here to work, you know? And it was only once I finished that I can kind of like let that pressure valve off and, you know, and all of that. But really like, I was here for 7 months. I didn't do anything, bro. Like I didn't have one drink. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go party. I didn't go to restaurants. I didn't do anything. It was just knuckle down and work. You know, there's a featurette that, an asset that we just put onto Instagram from Rebel Moon and myself. And when I see the interview, Steve, I'm like, look, I was a psychopath. Like I was so serious and focused, like watch it and you'll be like, damn, Ed was like tightly bound. It's like, where does Atticus Noble end and Ed begin? And of course, like I'm not going around hitting people with FEMA staffs, but like that kind of intensity, it was in me for that whole period. And again, it was good for screen, but not very nice to live with.
So we talked about this. I'm a big fan of Zack's work, but I always prefer the director's cuts of everything that he's ever made. For me, they're the versions that I'm going to rewatch again and again. Mm-hmm. So obviously, I'm super happy that the PG-13 exists. But for your character, what would you say are the differences between the PG-13 version and the R-rated version? Is it a radically different version? Can you sort of talk about what audiences might look forward to or see? I
mean, I remember while we were filming it, thinking, how can any of this go into the PG-13? How can my character exist in that world? And I was thinking like, they're gonna have trouble in the edit because I pretty much, you know, we would shoot for the R-rated scenes and then sometimes he would say, okay, let's do something for the PG-13. Most of the time I'd give them like 1 or 2 takes like that. Like I was swearing like a sailor and like pushing the envelope as far as I could. And in so many of the scenes, I can't mention them on the record, but it was like, I'm doing some dark shit where I was like, I can't believe we're getting away with this. I can't believe that Zack is asking me to do this. And like, I would suggest dark shit and he'd turn it up to 11. You know, I was like, this is crazy. So you get to know Atticus Noble. Like I can see that from the PG-13. Like you do really get a sense of the character and how cold and ruthless he is. But trust me, the R-rated version, the extended cut, you're gonna really see who this man is, and you're gonna be like, he is a sick bastard.
And I'm being so serious. I really cannot wait to see the full Zack Snyder. You know what I mean?
Me too.
So obviously, part 1 is about to drop. What can you tease about part 2 without spoiling anything?
Steve, it's all out fucking war. It is crazy. It's like the opening, there's so much of it was like the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan. It's like, and from my point of view with like the stunts, like I do, 3 or 4 times as much as I do in part 1. Sofia, everyone, we've got so much action. I look at the background behind you of Veldt and it's like, it kicks off, dude. It goes off. So, from a character point of view, not so much Atticus Noble, but more from the the farmers and the rebels, you do get more backstory, so you will get to know them better. But it's almost like the first film is kind of just setting up for how it kicks off in the second part. And I think it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah, I really can't wait to see when it all is done, part 1 and part 2, like the full, for me, the R-rated versions of both. I really can't wait to see them.
Me too, man. I can't wait for people to see them. And I honestly feel like if anybody likes Atticus Noble or feels like we've done good work with it in the PG-13, then you ain't seen nothing yet. Really, it's like, there's a lot more to come.